What's going on, everybody? Ivan Temelkov here. Haven't done one of these in over a week now, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this live with you guys. Over the last 7 days, so on the 27th of July, I believe, I actually started the carnivore diet. And the reason I started the carnivore diet is for two reasons. So, one was the psychological aspect of this, and then also the physical, and just kind of fast forward and to tell you kind of where things are at before I dive into what I want to talk about: discipline, struggles, failures, and lessons learned. So, I've lost 5 pounds since the 27th. So in 7 days from July 27th through August 2nd on the carnivore diet. And it's probably the most extreme thing that I've ever done. In fact, my friend Damien, who I have to thank, has been pushing me to do this for, a couple of months, but I've just been hesitant in doing it because, I was afraid to do this. And I want to talk about some things that have happened over the last 7 days, and why I want to share these guys with you. Why I want to share these things with you is because it has everything to do with discipline, struggles, failures, and lessons learned from it. And how is that beneficial for you? It's beneficial because there's so much of this that you can apply towards your life and your business. So, like I said, the two main reasons why I decided to do the carnivore diet is because I wanted to improve my mental strength, and I also wanted to improve my physique. Um, as of this morning, I'm actually at 204 pounds, which is the lowest weight that I've been in 6 to 9 months, roughly. And in fact, it's just rolling out on my stories. Actually, just a small snippet of this is rolling out on my stories. So one thing that I committed to is that every day I was going to journal everything that was happening day by day, so I could reflect back on the challenges, the struggles, the failures, and the lessons learned. Now I will tell you this: that there's been two failures that I've had over the last 9 days, and I'll talk about those. Now, why it's important, why am I talking about this to you guys, is because, discipline is extremely important in anything you do in life and in business. Discipline, consistency are two of the biggest key factors. I don't care if you're trying to improve your relationship. I don't care if you're trying to improve your business. I don't care if you're in the marketing space. I don't care what it is that you're doing. Discipline and consistency are the two essential things that are going to help you win. Okay. And there ain't no stopping now. I'm not stopping. So I've made the commitment starting the 27th of July through the end of August. So August 30th. And by the way, August 31st, I'm going to be on vacation for a week out in Gulf Shores, Alabama. First vacation in 4 years. 4 fucking years. And that's not a bad thing, by the way. That is not a bad thing. There's been so much that has happened over a period of 4 years. I have a 4-year-old son. I have a 2-year-old daughter. Business is growing. In fact, in the midst of this pandemic, I've seen the biggest growth with my business in ever, really. So let's talk about carnivore and why I did it. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about the carnivore diet. So the carnivore diet is an all animal-based diet. And one of the people that have really kind of elevated the hype around the carnivore diet is David Goggins. And in fact, speaking of David Goggins, I was just watching his Goalcast video that he did, and it was just absolutely amazing. It was absolutely fascinating. So David Goggins is someone that I follow on Instagram, and his recent Goalcast video that came out talked about the fact that he's perhaps the strongest man on the planet as it stands. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you who David Goggins is. You go and Google it and watch some of his videos. Okay. So let's talk about carnivore and my own journey. So I set out to do this because I wanted to change my mental cognition. I wanted to improve my mental focus, personal development, and I also wanted to get in the best shape possible. I'm not going to show you the physique just yet. I'm going to show you at the end of August a photo so that way you can see the transformation. Now, I did push out a transformation on my story, which, by the way, I have been documenting every single day on my Facebook stories and Instagram stories since day one, and will continue to do so for the next, what is today? 26, 27 days until August 30th. And this is for me. This is not for anybody else. This is not to gain views. This is not to build awareness. This is not to generate interest. This is primarily because I'm doing this for myself. And that's what you guys need to understand. If you want to succeed in life or in business, do the things that you're doing for yourself, nobody else, because there's a lot of people right now in the world, in the United States, that are doing things for the wrong reasons. They're doing things for other people. They're doing things for other people's expectations. And I'm here to tell you that that is bullshit. That is bullshit. Now, let me talk about my journey here to give you a little bit of a glimpse. And actually, I will read off some of my daily journal entries so you can understand what has been going through my mind. First of all, 9 days into the carnivore diet, and I am fucking Superman. In fact, I am Superman. Yes, I feel like Superman. You know, I feel like I've never had this amount of energy. So again, the carnivore diet is an all animal-based diet where you basically just eat animal types of foods like ribeye steaks, grilled chicken, tilapia, salmon, pork chops. Now, more fattier cuts are better, and I've primarily been eating all those things. You know, I've been eating a lot of steak, basically a lot of steak, and then limited poultry like eggs. So you've probably seen on my stories that I've been eating a lot of eggs. Now, what this has done is my mental sharpness is literally like a machete right now. It is so freaking sharp, you guys have no idea. And it feels absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. My energy levels are at the all-time highest. I don't have highs and lows because I'm not eating sugars and carbs. And I get it. I get it. You know, you're sitting probably, you know, watching this going, how is that possible? That's just it. It's possible because most people think that the things that they have not done are impossible. And I call bullshit on that. In fact, some of the best things you will ever do in your life and in your business are the things that you have probably deemed impossible. So again, I am 9 days. Today is the 9th day of the carnivore diet. I've got some videos rolling out on Facebook stories and Instagram stories. You can follow my journey. There's a story highlight on both platforms where you can check out basically everything from the start of the day to the end of the day, what I do step by step, what I eat for breakfast, which is fasting, black coffee, what I eat for lunch, what I eat for dinner. And the beauty about the carnivore diet is that it's a limited amount of animal types of food. So 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock last night, I'm having a steak. You know, that's the beauty. That's the beauty about it. And then the hydration aspect of this. Now, I will tell you this, that over the first 3 days, actually, I struggled. I struggled physically. I struggled mentally. And I'll talk a little bit about the struggles and the failures in more detail in just a second. So the reason I struggled in the first couple of days is, first of all, creating a nutritional shift is a huge leap of faith. You know, not just from a mindset standpoint, but also from a physical standpoint, meaning that the first couple of days, you're going to have some serious bowel movements. You know, so things like, you know, diarrhea or constipation are bound to develop. And that can actually even span upwards to a week or even 2 weeks. Unfortunately for me, that tapered off after about 3 or 4 days. So I'm going to forewarn you about that. And to some people, it might be painful. I'm not going to lie. But you know what? No pain, no gain. You want to advance in your life, you want to advance in your business, you got to understand that pain and sacrifice and risk are essential. This is exactly what happened in the carnivore. So, and let me share the two failures that I've had thus far, because a lot of people are probably wondering, saying, Ivan, have you done this perfectly? No, I have not done this perfectly. I've had two failures. The first failure that I had was last Saturday. I did not journal. I fell asleep on the couch while we were out of town at a family member's house. I did not journal that evening. And that was actually something that I set in stone for myself, that I would journal every single evening to document and reflect on the occurrences of that day. So what I did, my mental state, what was going through my mind, talk about my wins, talk about my struggles, my failures. That was my first failure. My second failure was last night. I had the urge to eat ice cream. Now, luckily, I ate Breyer's ice cream, which on the carnivore diet, you can have some dairy. But most people that are on this diet steer away from it. So luckily, I also had ice cream in a very small quantity. It was about less than a quarter of a cup. And so here's what I learned about this, is that after you go through a period of time, your mind will trick you into wanting to celebrate your abstinence, your ability that you withstood something for so long without giving in. And this is why I'm talking about this, is because I will tell you this, I'm probably the most imperfect person on the planet Earth. But what makes you more accountable, more responsible, and a bigger person is the ability to acknowledge your shortcomings, your failures, learn from them, adapt, pivot, and grow. That is extremely important. That is where the discipline comes into play. That is where the lessons learned come into play. So I'm going to read off a couple of things for you guys before we wrap things up on this live. So I want to read day-by-day journal entries. Here we go. So as I've been writing, so you guys can see, just so you can understand what has been going through my mind every single day. So on the 27th, that was start of carnivore. I journaled. Today was the beginning of the carnivore diet. From today until the end of August, so August 30th, is when I will stop doing the carnivore. Now, the carnivore diet was never really intended to be a long-term solution, just an FYI. It's more of a short-term, and from everything that I know about the carnivore diet, long-term can actually be degrading to your kidneys. So I just want to forewarn you guys, because I know there's probably people out there that are wondering about the pros and cons of this, right? So on the first day, 2 steaks and 6 full eggs. That was first day. The eggs were quite interesting. For some reason, they made me go to the bathroom quite a bit. So again, I talked about the bowel movements that you're going to see in the first few days, or even upwards to 14 days on the carnivore diet. Day 2, 28th of July, down 2 pounds. So mind you, in 24 hours, because of serious bowel movements, I lost 2 pounds. 2 pounds. Now, on average, most people will lose 2 to 5 pounds in a 7-day period. That is given that you eat, nutritionally healthy, meaning you're hitting a 2,000 calorie deficit, daily deficit, and you're eating healthy foods. So for me to lose 2 pounds in 24 hours was actually quite insane, believe it or not. That's quite exceptional, considering that this is only day 2. That's on my second day journal entry. Let's see. Let's move on to day 3. So day 3, July 29th of the carnivore. Anything that is worthwhile is always the hardest to accomplish. You guys have to understand, in life, business, your relationships, anything, I mean anything. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's exercise or your relationship or your business or running a marketing campaign or whatever it might be. Anything that is worthwhile is always going to be the hardest, the most time consuming, the most challenging. So that was day 3 of carnivore. Day 4, July 30th. Again, everything that is worthwhile requires hard discipline. You gotta have discipline. I mean, I don't know how much to stress that. You gotta have discipline. And building strong resilience discipline takes time, takes a lot of consistency to build that discipline. Let's see, day 5 of carnivore. So this is July 31st. A true test of inner strength is the ability to control your temptations. I will tell you this, whether it's a diet or, it's something that's going to force you to do some kind of an abstinence kind of exercise to resist, to limit yourself, is going to require inner control of your strength. You're going to have a lot of temptations. I'm actually surprised that in the first 7 days, I didn't have even more urges because I'm not going to lie. I love candy. I love donuts. I love sweets. I mean, I'm an Eastern European who grew up on 5-course meals, who loves candy, loves chocolate. I mean, milk chocolate was my go-to growing up. And so, this has really been, very, very challenging, especially in the first 7 days, and the ability to control it. But again, it's all in your mind. Now, let's see. Moving on to, so day 6 was my first failure last Saturday. I didn't journal because, like I said, I passed out on the couch at a family member's house since we were out of town. And since I typically journal late at night, if you've been watching my stories, then that obviously didn't happen because the only thing I wanted to do is crawl my ass to bed because I was so dead tired. Now, day 7 of carnivore is nobody is perfect. You will make mistakes. So never strive for perfection. Okay. Perfection is an illusion, I think. I think there's so many people out there that are struggling right now because they want to be perfect. They want to be perfect from the start. They want to look the best. They want to think the best. They want to be able to execute with the best. And all of that takes time and practice, discipline, failures, struggles, lessons learned, all of that. It takes time because, and the reason why I'm talking about also the carnivore diet here is because, if you feel good, if you feel better about yourself, if you look better when you look in the mirror, you are more bound to be successful. You're at a higher probability of being successful because you feel better about yourself. Like I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, shit, I still got the beer gut. And it's not a huge beer gut by any means, but it's still a beer gut, And that's probably one of the biggest problems with men is the beer gut. So again, nobody is perfect. You will make mistakes. Please understand that, perfection is an illusion. And that brings us to actually the 3rd, which was yesterday, day 8 of carnivore. And I want to read out this full entry for you guys. So your biggest enemy is you. You get to make all the choices and actions, both good ones and bad ones. Bad habits die hard. It really takes a lot of willpower and action to get rid of them. The more you try though, the easier it becomes. So again, everything is hard in the beginning. Okay? And over time things get easier because you develop, persistence, resilience, practice, adaptability. And that's exactly, what this carnivore diet has really done. Keep trying. No matter what, you will fail, but that's okay. Again, just to summarize this, and if you're just tuning in, I was reading out my daily journal entries on this carnivore diet that I've been doing for the last, 9 days. Today is not the 9th day. And the reason I'm talking about this because this is perhaps one of the most challenging things that I've ever done. In fact, in the beginning of this broadcast, I talked about the fact that, I've been hesitant to start this carnivore diet for a couple of months. My friend Damien has been urging me to do it. He's someone that's been doing it for 200 plus days, and he is in the best shape of his life, mentally and physically. And I gotta tell you this: I've always wanted a six pack. I've always wanted a six pack. I think the last time I saw my abs was when I was like 18 years old. What's not to love about that? What's not to love about the ability to take off your shirt while you're on the beach and feeling comfortable with yourself? I don't know about you guys, but that is something that I've aspired to accomplish. And for a very long time, so I'm 40 years old. So for 22 years, I've put this shit on the burner. Or I've tried, failed, started, stopped, started, stopped, started, stopped. I've done a couple of other diets. And the problem with most diets is that they're not sustainable. Is carnivore sustainable? I don't know. I think it varies, per individual experience. But that's with anything else, really, when you think about it, is everything varies based on your own individual experience, right? And speaking of that, I want to talk a little bit about COVID without getting way too political about this. But, with everything that's happening with COVID right now, right, we've got two types of people. We've got, the people who are saying this is a bullshit, political approach. And there's the people that are saying, this is real, right? This is a real virus. I will tell you this. I know people who have had COVID and have nearly died. Yes, they did survive. But there's also no guarantee that all the people that get COVID are going to have a 100% survival rate. Because all it takes is that 1%, really. And so, again, just to summarize this and why I took the time to talk about this is just that, carnivore is about mental and physical cognition. These are the two reasons why I'm doing it. I want to get ripped as hell, and that is one of my goals. But first and foremost, I want to have the strongest mindset that I've ever had in my life. This is the primary reason, and the secondary reason is physical, because I do want to, be able to see my abs. They are there. They're just buried behind this small gut that is slowly diminishing. And so the advice that I want to share with you guys here, and again, why I decided to do this live. Everything will vary based on your own individual experience. But what you need to figure out is, who are you, or who do you want to be? Who are you right now? Who do you aspire to be? And health, nutrition, exercise, personal development has everything to do with that. My business has grown, looking to double this year alone. Looking to bring on more employees. 2 months ago, was able to hire my first full-time employee. I talked about this in the previous live. I'm very ecstatic about that. But that has really been due to the fact that I have been able to really hyper-focus on my mindset so I can think more strategically, more creatively, being able to execute flawlessly. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. I'm just a dude like everybody else. I'm just a human being. But I'm a human being who wants it all. I want it all, and I will have it all. And that's what I want you to think about. How much do you want what you're chasing, your goals and dreams, and what are you willing to do for them? Talk to you later, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.